time I film now, the setup is a little bit weird, like the angle, how far away you are, how close I am. It's different. I still have not figured everything out yet, and then every time I film I have to move it, and then I also work in here, so I move my lighting and everything. It's a whole process. Also, I need to hurry up. I have like less than 30 minutes before I have to go get Piper, so I only have 5 books to talk about for this video, but with the way that I ramble, we could be here a while. But I'm gonna try to get through these very quickly, and I'm rambling now. Hello, my name is Sam. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a backlist romance book recommendation. This is a collab with my friend Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl. We did one of these a few months ago, and I really enjoy helping you all find books that are not being shoved down your face right now. So hopefully some of these will be kind of new to you. I think a lot of these authors though are very like hyped now and they're talked about a lot now, but these are maybe some books that you don't know from them or you maybe haven't read from them yet. So this might inspire you to read some of their backlists and not necessarily just what's new and exciting right now. So the first book that I have is by Brittainy Cherry, and that is Disgrace. Now this is one that I read twice. The first time that I read this book, I DNF'd it. And I'm very glad that I picked it up and gave it a second chance because I ended up really liking it the second time around. So we are following Grace and Jackson. Now, Grace has been with her husband for 15 years, but at the beginning of this book, she catches him cheating on her with her best friend. So she is very much spiraling. She decides that she's going to go back to her hometown to stay with her sister and brother-in-law to just sort of figure things out. And there she meets sort of the town bad boy, the town pariah, Jackson. Well, she doesn't meet him. She has known him because it's small. This is a small town romance. So everyone kind of knows everybody. And Jackson, his family, they've not been sort of the most liked in this town. His dad is the town drunk. They own an auto shop in town. And Jackson he's not had like the best life because of the way people in this town treat him. So Grace goes into this with kind of some like preconceived notions about Jackson, but these two strike up an unlikely friendship, and from that friendship it starts to grow into more, and Grace really starts to see a different side of Jackson. He's not just this prickly, just bad boy that everyone sees him as. He's actually deep down like sweet and kind-hearted. He's just had to put up so much like protection. That is the front, this grumpy, like pissed off, I don't care attitude. That's a front that he has been putting on because of how this town treats him. And Grace and Jackson are two that they're opposite. This is definitely an opposites attract kind of situation because Grace is just this good girl. She comes from a very religious family and a very good, like respected family in the town. And then obviously Jackson doesn't. And so you really wouldn't pair these two together. And a lot of people in the town are like, why are you with him? What is going on? And Grace's family really gives her a hard time about this too. But Grace, like I said, she sees a different side of him, and they both really just bring out sort of the best in each other. Jackson shows Grace, like, you don't have to do everything that your parents want you to do. You don't have to do everything just so and like fall in line. Stand up for yourself. Like I said earlier, I am really glad that I gave this book a second chance. I ended up really enjoying it. So that is Disgrace by Brittainy Cherry. The next book that I have, it would not be a Sam Reads a Little recommendation video if I didn't have an Emma Scott book in here, right? This is Unbreakable by Emma Scott. So in this book, we are following Alex and Corey. Now, Alex is an attorney and she is known as the Shark Lady. That's what everyone kind of calls her because she is such a savage in the courtroom, and she just has a very just cold way about getting things done, getting the outcome that her and her clients want. And she kind of separates her emotions from the situation, like from her work. So very cold, kind of calculated, and seen as just very powerful and badass, honestly. So she is also engaged, but lately she's been feeling like, is this really what I want? Am I really happy, or am I just sort of like going through the motions? She ends up meeting Corey at the bank one day. They're both in line and they're kind of, talking a little bit because it's taking a while in the line, and they hit it off. Now, Corey is a single dad and he works in construction, and right away Alex is super attracted to him. She's like, this man, like, you can just tell he's just different from the men that she's used to, and different from her fiance, because he's got that just kind of rugged look about him because he works in construction, he works with his hands, and she's immediately drawn to him. But these people come in to rob the bank and they end up holding it hostage. So Corey and Alex learn to lean on each other in the few days that they are held up in this bank, held hostage. And what these two end up going through together while this, hostage situation is going on, it really creates a bond between them. They, like I said, they're leaning on each other. And so much so that when the police come and they end up getting out and they're trying to resume, their normal lives, they can't shake the feeling of like wanting to be together. They can't shake this bond that they created. So much like an Emma Scott book, this is emotional. The characters in here are so well done, and there's some cheating in here, but also it kind of is, they're fearing for their life in here. Obviously, they're held in this hostage situation. They have no clue what is going to happen to them. And so it's kind of like when you're faced with danger and you're faced with, this could be my last day on earth. What would I do? What would I want to do? That sort of thing. So it kind of plays with like your moral compass a little bit in that situation. So yeah, I did really enjoy this. And if you have not read Unbreakable by Emma Scott, please do so. The next book that I have to recommend to you guys is Drowning Erin by Elizabeth O'Rourke. Now, in this book, we are following Erin and Brendan. This is set in the same world as Waking Olivia. Yeah, Waking Olivia. Is this his brother? The hero from Waking Olivia? I believe this is his brother. I could be wrong though, because I didn't like Waking Olivia, but I did like this book. So this is kind of told in past and present. So 4 years ago, Erin and Brendan met at a summer job that they were working at. Brendan is a bit of a man whore, and Erin has just some opinions about him. She does not like the fact that he is a man whore, and they kind of have like a little like enemies to lovers situation going on, but he is very intrigued by her from the very beginning. Like, he wants to know more about her, but he knows that if he gets too close to her, she is the type of girl that he would want more from and actually want a relationship from. And Brendan doesn't do relationships. So they do develop like a relationship and this, friendship while they are younger, but then present day, she is engaged to Brendan's childhood best friend, and he is actually going away for work, and he invites Brendan to come and stay in their pool house while he is gone away on a business trip. And so that brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of that chemistry that was already there. And this one, though, it did not have any cheating in it, because they definitely were like towing that line. There's some definite like emotional sort of cheating going on, but never anything physical until she realized, hey, I don't want to be with my fiance anymore and I want to be with Brendan. Brendan really shows Erin how much she has been missing and how much of her own happiness that she has put aside to make everyone else happy. And that is one thing that I really loved about this. Erin and Brendan, they brought out the best in each other. They brought out their good sides. And this is very angsty and a very, very messy romance. Okay, this was messy, but I ate it up. Okay, if you're looking for angsty and messy, read this. So the next book that I have to recommend to you is also a pretty messy romance. And this one is Heatwave by Karina Halle. Heatwave is following Ronnie and Logan. Her name's Veronica, but she prefers Ronnie. Now, she is a chef, and she has just recently lost her job because things happened. She was fired from her job, and she really needs more experience for other, kitchens to hire her, other restaurants to hire her. So she goes and works for Logan. She's going to Hawaii to work on his resort and be a chef there. Logan and Ronnie have a history, and that's kind of loaded because Logan actually married Ronnie's sister. Ronnie's sister actually, she passed. So he's like kind of her ex-brother-in-law. But before Logan and Ronnie's sister met, Ronnie and Logan had met each other first, and they were both interested in each other. But then Ronnie's sister, and throughout this book, you'll see a theme of Ronnie's sister was just like this golden child. She could do no wrong. She was the apple of their parents' eye. And Ronnie always felt like she was living in her shadow. She was never good enough, and her parents really compared her to her sister. So she's kind of spent her whole life just comparing herself to her sister and then just not feeling good enough. And so when she goes to this resort and Logan is her boss, things start to come up. Emotions they're flying because she's still really upset about what happened to her sister, and she hasn't seen Logan since her sister has passed. So there's just a lot of emotions going on in this book. So it's very emotional for Ronnie to be seeing Logan and for Logan to be seeing Ronnie again. Not only because they haven't seen each other after what had happened, but they had a past. They liked each other before he married her sister. So as the story goes, they can't stay away from each other, and it's their romance. And there's a lot of consequences that come about because of them being together. I mean, you can imagine dating your deceased sister's husband, her widower. Messy, but the way that these two loved each other, beautiful. He just really shows her that she's good enough on her own, and that her comparing herself to her sister her entire life, and even since death, is it's just not fair. Don't do that. You are good enough and you deserve everything. And I just really enjoyed this one. So this is again kind of a forbidden, angsty, messy, sort of second chance romance. So the last book that I have to recommend to you for this video is The Naked Truth by Keeland. Now this one I read years ago, but it is still one of my favorites by Keeland. So this book starts out a little unconventional, and you're gonna be like, what? Because Layla and Gray meet in prison. So Layla is actually there. I believe she's in college, and she a part of her class, in order to pass, she has this project where she has to go and teach in a men's correctional facility, and that is where she meets Gray. Gray is there serving a 3-year sentence for a crime that he did not commit. And so this is a teeny bit forbidden too, because they do develop a romantic relationship while she's teaching these classes and while he is incarcerated. But something happens, there's a misunderstanding, and Layla vows to never speak or see Gray again. But all that changes when Gray is now out of prison. He has been, cleared of everything, and he wants Layla to come and work at his law firm. He wants her to be his right-hand woman, and he will stop at nothing to get that. I remember this book having such good tension, and I remember Gray groveling. He was willing to do whatever to get Layla to trust him again and to earn that relationship back with her. So yeah, like I said, this is one that I read years ago, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about Vi Keeland a lot, so check her out. She's always been a solid romance writer for me. I feel like she just doesn't get the hype that she deserves. I think years ago she used to be more popular than she is now, but people need to be talking about her more. So if you're looking for kind of an established romance author, not that any of these aren't, but I feel like you just hear more about some of the other authors that I've mentioned in this video and not necessarily by Keeland, try her out because I always enjoy her books. So yeah, that is all for my recommendation video. If you have made it to this point in the video, leave me a green heart because I've got this little necklace on that I'm obsessed with, and it's got a little heart with a green thing. I'm over explaining it. Don't forget to go and watch Cheyenne's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.